Okay, this is your 2-minute warning.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to get started pretty soon here. I wanted to remind our commissioners to unmute yourself, state your name when speaking. Also, Commissioner Stern is on the phone, so he is maybe not physically present here, but he's participating in today's meeting. For voting on any measure or action today, the commissioners will be using the voting touchscreen. Of course, Commissioner Stern will give his vote verbally. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to call to order the February 18th, 2025 Senior Citizen Commission meeting at 2:00 p.m. Can we do a roll call?
Let the record show that all commissioners are present, with Commissioner Stern teleconferencing.
Commissioner Angel, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you, everyone. That brings us to agenda item 4, special presentations and proclamations. Today we have Amy Stuck to give us an update on Village Encinitas. Welcome.
Great, thank you very much. So it's nice to see you all again, and I know there's a couple new commissioners. My name is Amy Stuck. I am a 22-year resident of Cardiff by the Sea, and I, along with another group of older adults in Encinitas, started Village Encinitas. And because there's a few new commissioners who weren't here last year when I was here, I wanted to just briefly go through what a village is. So villages are an intentional, caring community, a grassroots effort led by older adults in a community to provide connections, support, and expertise to help members maintain independence as they age. They're innovative, community-based, solution-focused to improve the quality of life and expand choices for those of all stages of aging, and empowering older adults to sustain their independence through community and remain in charge of their lives as they age. Village Encinitas was started in 2023 to bring together older adults in Encinitas to achieve the vision described above. We have an incredible opportunity in synergy with other like-minded organizations in our community, including our city, to unite and better serve the older Americans. So villages really foster an intentional aging experience. It's an opportunity for growth and continued contribution after we retire or get older. We are assets in the community, and we're resources, and we continue to make social, economic, and cultural and spiritual contributions. And importantly, in a recent survey within the last 5 years, 88% of older adults polled want to remain in their homes and in their communities for as long as possible. There is a changing demographic, as we all know. This is why we have a senior commission, is because the older adult population is growing. Very quickly, these two graphs show the number of Californians that will be over the age of 60 by year, and you can see there'll be in 2030, there'll be 10 million in California, and by 2060, 13 million. And in the next bar graph just shows by the size of the population, age and income between 2014 and 2029. And I just want to show you to the highest bar graph is that middle income is growing, and there are a lot of services available to lower income older adults, and higher income older adults can usually afford to pay for services out of pocket, but there's a very big growing middle who can't afford services, and so there's a really big opportunity for villages to fill that gap. Also addressing loneliness and isolation and social isolation. You've, I'm sure, heard the Surgeon General's warning about social isolation and loneliness, increasing health risks such as heart disease, diabetes, substance abuse, depression, and anxiety. Older adults who are lonely or isolated are at higher risk for becoming victims of fraud and experiencing elder abuse, and there's an increased risk of dementia and early death. So we believe that villages also can fill this gap. There's also some new information out of the University of Michigan that nearly 40% of older adults report having contact with friends only 1 to 2 times per month or less, and almost half with fair or poor mental health reported having not having any close friends, and greater than 40% found it harder to make new friends when they were older as when they were younger, and 75% expressed an interest in making new friends. So villages also fill this gap. Just quickly, the components of a village, they offer social programming, so opportunities to get together and enjoy things that we all enjoy together. There's also educational opportunities of many kinds, resources and referrals to services that are available in the city that they may not even know about, and then also an opportunity to volunteer. And I'll talk more specifically about our volunteers in our village. All of this resulting in that intentional community building that I described. So I was here a year ago. We were just getting started, and so the council asked us to return and give an update in a year, so a lot's happened. So we started with some community informational meetings in 2022 and the initial presentation in January of 2024 to this council. And then a small interested group of older adults formed a planning community, and we received our nonprofit status in the summer of 2023. We also participated in a program that was offered by Village Movement California, which was formed as a result of the Master Plan for Aging, Gavin Newsom's Plan for Aging, that helps villages around the state who are just developing to support each other, making sure none of us are having to reinvent the wheel for things that are sort of tried and true, but it really is a grassroots effort to build what we want in our community. And we launched a pilot project in a community called High Country Villas, which is a retirement, over 55 retirement community in Encinitas that has about 400 or 500 homes, as a way that we could get started, because they already had social programming, so we could work mainly on the services development piece. So we first got together with this group of neighbors at High Country Villas, and we had a meeting that to determine the needs, because really you want to build a village that is based on doing a community asset mapping, so we don't want to compete with any organization in our community for services. We want to supplement and complement each other, but we also want to make sure we're meeting the needs of the people who are interested. So they brought up transportation, friendly visits, help with technology, whether that was computers or programming a TV remote. Simple home repairs and pet care are what really rose to the surface. And then teams were formed to discuss some of the service descriptions for people who would be giving volunteers. We built a volunteer handbook out of that. And then we did a questionnaire asking people, would you be willing to volunteer? Do you have special skills that maybe you had in your work or personal life that would be helpful to the village? Would you be willing to pay a membership fee? How much? And donations. So we had a really good idea what the community needed. And then we built our website, and we are at villageencinitas.org, or we are part of an electronic platform that helps us run our village called Helpful Village, and so we also have a website, encinitas.helpfulvillage.com. Both of these will take you to our homepage for the village. The website includes Village Encinitas descriptions, so you can go there and learn who we are, what we're about. There's a member volunteer application. We decided as our village that we wanted all of our members to be volunteers also, because you never know when you're going to need help. You might think you'll only be a volunteer now, but next week I might twist my ankle playing pickleball and need some help with pet walking. So all of our members are also registered as volunteers. There's no minimum amount of volunteering you can do. You just say, I'll do friendly visits, or I can do pet care. We have an events calendar, and as of about a month ago, people can actually register for events on our calendar. I heard someone registered to be at this meeting on our calendar, which was great. Welcome if you're out there. And there's also a service request form. So if there's some help that you need, sort of in one of those categories or really with anything, you can submit a service request form. And then we also have a monthly newsletter. And I think we've maybe are 4 or 5 months into our monthly newsletter. So that's a really wonderful way to let our members and the community know what's happening. So what's happening today at Encinitas Village is we have had over 100 attendees at our meetings of interest that we've had at the Cardiff Library and also at the Encinitas Senior Center. We currently have approximately 64 dues-paying members. The majority of those are from High Country Villas, but I'll talk about the expansion out into Encinitas, and about 16 that are on our donor or our interest list that are maybe in the process of becoming a member. We have had many people make service requests. In fact, I ran a report before I came, and we've had approximately 68 service requests this past year. Some of those were tests where we were testing out our system, but we've given at least 11 different rides, lots of requests for handy person work. Friendly visits is a popular one, and also some computer help and pet care. Leadership positions have been filled on our planning team by members. So we have people who are service coordinators. I currently serve as a secretary. We have a president, I guess we're calling it, and that's Jesse. And so we're still filling out those needs. So what's next for Village Encinitas? Well, we, as of October 2024, felt ready to expand to the rest of the city of Encinitas and start recruiting members and sharing what we're doing outside of the boundaries of our pilot project. And we are going to continue our efforts to expand our membership so that we can get to more older adults with needed services and community building. In fact, I'll be leaving here today, dropping some of our flyers off at a local primary care physician's clinic office who has offered, who knew about our village, heard about our village, and wanted to be able to share this with their patients who they thought might benefit from being in a community like a village. We've also developed a regularly scheduled social and educational gathering. That'll be our aspiration for 2025, and we've have a couple of events now that are on our calendar that I think I have another slide about. So how will we grow and sustain the village? we do need leaders, we need doers, participants, we need ideas, we need enthusiasm, because it truly does take a village to be able to reach all of the seniors that don't know about us yet and we know would benefit. We have had a couple of stories of members who have joined our village and started requesting services who it became clear that we were their lifeline already, even early on, and were really struggling and needed more help than what even just as a village could provide, and we were able to start to connect them to bigger services or more the types of services that they really needed. And so it really inspired us that those folks, I don't know what would have happened to them if they hadn't joined our village and started requesting services like a friendly visit and realizing that they were really needing a lot more help. So we're really looking forward to connecting with more older adults. So spreading the word. We had a table at the recent Encinitas Community Expo, and there was a lot of really good feedback on the excitement around what a village is. And we also, Jesse was a panelist on the Senior Living Education Series, talking about things that are available in our community to overcome loneliness and isolation. And as I mentioned before, we now have this Saturday, we're going to be having our first virtual information session, and that'll be every month. People can join by Zoom and register and just learn what the village is about without having to physically go somewhere to learn that. And then a monthly new member coffee will be starting, and that's really for new members to get to know each other, but it's also for people who are interested and just want to learn more. And then the Encinitas, thanks to the Senior Citizens Commission, the Encinitas City Council approved an initiative to explore age-friendly in the city of Encinitas. So we're a part of that. We would consider ourselves part of an age-friendly strategy, and we're really excited to be a part of that as well. So you can find us, as well as the websites. We also have a phone number, so anybody can call our phone number and get a voicemail, and one of our team will get right back to you. So we're trying to advertise that phone number for people who aren't maybe tech savvy, or if you just want to call us in your car on your way home from work. Or you can send an email to info@villageencinitas.com. And please follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And we invite all of our Senior Citizen Commission to join our village. Thank you, and I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you, Amy. Questions from our commissioners?
Commissioner Gaber, thank you very much for a wonderful presentation, and I'm glad you made it through organic chemistry. We're most, anyhow, it's always the favorite question. But seriously, are you a 501(c) corporation?
We are, yes.
Great.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, and so, question. So approximately what % of revenue and donations go to direct services?
So we've gotten a few donations, and our membership fees are $120 a year, so $10 a month. Membership covers, in all villages, covers usually about less than 30% of your total operations. So we do have a budget, so our donations all go to operations and to this has really been in the setup this year. In other words, we have to carry liability insurance. We have a platform, yeah.
And so, are you required to file a Form 990?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
we are.
I'll satisfy my interest from that. Thank you. I mean, I have go on.
I've got a couple of questions. So you had mentioned that some of your members turned out to need more services than you and Village Encinitas could provide. What are some of the services that you referred them to?
So in these couple of cases, we got in touch with family members, who we knew maybe lived out of town. And then in another case, it was a friend of the family that was able to connect with a physician to get home services, ordered through the doctor's office. But there's many different ways, but we usually just start with family. And if they don't have family, if there's a caregiver who knows them well, just to make sure that they can help.
Okay, I bring this up just because I think there are a lot of services that are offered by the city and by the county to support adults 50 plus, our senior citizens, but most of the time we don't know about them.
It's true.
So having a means to collect that information and share it across the platform is important.
This is Commissioner Hanwood. I can speak to that a little bit too, because the current members that we have wouldn't qualify for county services, but that's one of our goals, is to make ourselves as aware as possible of everything that's out there so that we can make a recommendation or a referral when it's needed.
One example I'll just add is that the planning team, Jessie and a few of her friends, put together all of the county and city services for transportation. In case we aren't able to fulfill a request, we can refer them to Jewish Family Services, has a ride program, and there are others, but we made a little booklet that has all of the phone numbers or websites of people that will offer transportation. So that's just a start. We hope to do more of that.
Commissioner Koblenz, thank you so much. This is very exciting. So as I understand it, you're now ready to let Cardiff Park and other areas
Yes.
join?
Yes.
Okay, can I have more information later, because that's where I live?
Of
And I
course.
think we would be very excited. Thank you.
We would love that.
This is Commissioner Angel. Thank you so much for a very thorough and insightful refresh. I was here for your first presentation, and it was just as enjoyable. And congratulations on officially being approved. I do have a question about the rides that you're providing. I'm wondering if you could just let us know typically what type of rides. Are these to medical appointments or social engagements? I'm wondering about that. Thank you.
Yes, both. We've had rides to medical appointments, for sure. The grocery store is a big one. Some folks have, like, they had to take their car in and they wanted a ride back from the mechanic's office. And we have had people ask for rides to social events.
As a follow-up, is there a fee for this ride, or is that all encompassed within the?
Yeah, once you're a member, there is no charge for any service that we can provide. It's all done by volunteers.
All right, thank you so much.
And this is Commissioner Hanwood, so I just want to mention one other thing too, and that is part of the, when you sign up to be a member, you have to have a background check. And if you've checked the little box that says drive and you're going to be driving people, you have to have the DMV check as well. So that, because we need it for insurance, and you're meeting with people that you might not know. You're meeting new people, and you want to make sure you're going to be safe.
This is Commissioner Stern. Let me know when I can speak.
You can speak right now.
Okay. First of all, I'm on the call on a telephone, but I'm watching it live on the website. So first of all, I like your jacket. Anyway, my question is, because I've spoken with Commissioner Hanwood about this a while ago. I don't understand why, if you want to be a volunteer, I would have to pay to be a volunteer. And I know what you guys are kind of saying, but look, I'm never going to need your services, but I could actually help people, even though I'm kind of homebound. So I don't know why I have to pay you to volunteer. So anyway, that's my question.
I am so glad you asked that, because that actually has come up with some people who are interested in helping the village, but they asked the same question you did. And I guess how we decided to answer that, or how we're answering that, is that you're not paying us to volunteer. You're actually helping support the village because to volunteer, we have to pay liability insurance, and everyone here knows that insurance is not inexpensive. And we have a platform that helps us match services to participants, so we don't have to do that manually, and that has a fee associated with it. It's not super expensive, the platform, but it's still a cost to us, and we love to have volunteers. And you never know when you might, something might change in your life where you would need to have help. So we don't want being a member of the village, the dues, to ever be a barrier for somebody to join. If $120 is not within someone's budget, we just tell people to just pay what they can. We don't say no. Pay what you
Okay. And
can.
by the way, I would understand, by the way, if you, let's say, charge us for the background check, okay, because that makes sense. But I don't know what one costs. I'm sure it's not $120, but anyway, yeah, no, thank you for your answer. And anyway, those are just my thoughts. And I like the concept a lot. It's just like I talked to Commissioner Hanwood a while ago, and I was like, I could volunteer. I could help people with computers, how to use their phones. I could do it from my house, but I wasn't going to pay to do it. I'm volunteering my time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, completely understand. And I will say, we are, and if I've said it once, I've probably said it 20 times, we're a grassroots effort. So we want to create a village that serves our community. And if we find that that is a huge barrier, we may rethink that. And I know we've talked about eventually going intergenerational or considering going intergenerational because we have a wonderful youth commission here. And, there's also a lot of students and young folks that want to help with something like this. And again, it's just where we are right now, but we're not saying that's a never.
And by the way, that's interesting because I understand the youth thing, and a lot of people do want to volunteer, but a lot of the kids don't have $120. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. And your presentation was great.
Okay, folks in the audience, do you have questions for our speaker today?
So, what percentage of, you said you had 64 active members. Is it 10 people doing the volunteering and 50 receiving services, or what's that ratio?
I don't have the exact numbers. We do have a report capability, but I would say, and Jesse can help me here, there's probably about 10 people, 10 or 12 that are doing sort of more consistent volunteering.
Yeah, this is Commissioner Hanwood. There's probably about 10 or 12 that do a lot of the volunteering, but somebody else will also just pop up. The information goes up on the website, and then as Amy mentioned, then the people that volunteer for that specific request all get an email. And I love it when all of a sudden somebody else says, yeah, I can do it. And we promote that at our meetings, that people should give it a try and try to take advantage of it. We've only really had membership in High Country Villas since July and out in the city since October. So we're just finding out about that.
So just, again, to understand the mechanics of it, you become a member and you sign up. If you can volunteer, you basically go on a website and say, hey, I'm available to drive, to do handyman work, do computer work. And then if you ever need help, let's say you break your legs or you're in a car accident, now you're the person who needs the help. So then it's a reciprocal type of environment. So once you're a member, you can either volunteer or not volunteer, just receive services or just give services.
Correct.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
There we go, it's in the green. Just a few follow-ups. Could a hard copy of your presentation or a PDF be sent to staff?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And specifically, let's just pick one of the services, like pet services. Just describe what specifically, the universe of that, and who can qualify for whatever they are. Thank
Sure.
you.
So a member, if they needed a pet service, would go on the website and they would request the pet service. They would describe what it is. For example, I've got a 6-hour meeting and my little furry pet can't stay inside that long. Can you pop over to my house, at noon and let my dog out and take him for a little walk around the block? And then that goes out in an email to everyone who has indicated they would be willing to volunteer helping with pet care. And then someone responds to that email and says, I can do it. And then they connect to, give a gate code or how to get the dog out of the house kind of thing.
So just to clarify, I'm just trying to, very granular person. The pet services are done at the requester's home, and there are no pet services on site. I just wanted to
So we don't have a site.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're virtual, so
Okay,
there's
good.
we don't have a
Oh, that's
location.
Okay, thank you for your wonderful presentation, and it was very informative. I was a prime caregiver for about 14 years, progressively, and there's a lot of room for service organizations like you that, and thank you. I look forward to that being expanded, and everybody in Encinitas has to chip in. Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you, Amy, for coming out and giving us an update.
My pleasure,
I think
thank you.
we may ask you back in a little while, find out how the expansion is going.
Happy to come anytime.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you again. All right, that brings us to agenda item 5, oral communications, possible direction to staff. Do we have any oral communication speakers today?
Yes, we have one speaker for oral communications. Vicki Kaufman is here representing the San Diego Botanic Garden, and she's going to discuss a class for caregivers of loved ones with dementia. And as a reminder, you have 3 minutes to address the commission.
Thank you. Good afternoon. As Jamie mentioned, my name is Vicki Kaufman, and I'm here today. I've been volunteering at the San Diego Botanic Garden, which is in Encinitas, for about 2 years now. I'm a transplant from Florida, from the Fort Lauderdale area, but I do live in Encinitas and love it. I have family nearby, and so it's very comforting to be here. My professional background, I'm a certified family life educator, I'm a family counselor, and I was in upper-level administration for Catholic Charities in Michigan and in Florida for about 25 years. I have been retired, and when I retired, one of my interests was because I was a caregiver for my mother who had mixed dementia. She was diagnosed with both vascular dementia and Alzheimer's. As a family counselor, it was a struggle for me. And I learned a lot in my experience, even though I was a family counselor. But when I retired, I decided I was going to volunteer for the Alzheimer's Association in the greater Fort Lauderdale area. And for them, I designed several programs, one of which was for caregivers, talking about the aspects of how dementia can affect the 5 senses. And so as I'm volunteering here now in the San Diego Gardens and looking at the lush and beautiful gardens, and I'm thinking this is a perfect place for caregivers to bring their loved ones, I approached with a proposal to the education department that if they would like, I would love to give a class on caregiving for the caregiver about how dementia does affect the 5 senses. And I have flyers that should be in your packets, and I'm happy to give these out to the attendees here. Unfortunately, statistics say that someone in the world, believe it or not, develops dementia every 3 minutes. 3 seconds, I'm sorry, not even 3 minutes, 3 seconds. And nearly 9% of American adults age 65 and over meet the criteria for living with some form of dementia. And I'm sure Dr. Stuck is finding, or you will be finding that out in your village, Encinitas, that there are people that need all kinds of support. Here in San Diego and Imperial counties, the Alzheimer's Association notes on their website that there are about 70,000 people who are currently living with Alzheimer's or other form of dementia. So the reason I'm here today is I'm hoping to get the word out. The San Diego Botanic Garden has accepted my proposal, and I will be giving a class on Saturday, March 29th from 10 to 12, specifically for caregivers, and the information is in the flyer. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That brings us to agenda item 6, changes to the agenda. Are there any changes in today's agenda?
There are no changes to the posted agenda.
Okay. Agenda item 7, approval of the minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the January 21st, 2025 regular meeting minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Commissioner Stern will motion, yes.
Okay, we got it. I think it's a tie. So
Commissioner Gaber
Commissioner
seconds.
Stern and Commissioner
Fine.
Gaber are...
Seconds.
All right, so Commissioner Stern has motioned to approve, and Commissioner Gaber has seconded the motion. We can go to touchscreen voting. Commissioner Angel, you were not at that meeting, so you'll have to abstain. So here we go.
Commissioner Stern says yes.
Let the record show that all commissioners voted yes, except Commissioner Angel, who abstained. Sorry, and the motion passes.
Okay. That brings us to agenda item 8, action items. First, we'll review the any updates to the Senior Citizen Commission Annual Work Plan in terms of outcomes. And then what I'll do is after we've done that, we can vote on approving the work plan outcomes for this past year. And then there's also another action to approve the draft bylaws. So let's go and get our updates for the work plan first. Work plan item 1, attend city-hosted events and programs and city-partnered events serving as city ambassadors or volunteers. Any updates?
Mr. Chairman, I can't see the document on the screen. I don't, that's all. Maybe somebody can help me.
It's on the other computer, right there. No, not the screen. Share a screen.
No updates?
This is Manager Goodsell. I was wondering, did any of you attend the Resource Expo or serve as a volunteer at that?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Commissioner Koblenz, yes, I did. I also attended the civic engagement that's sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce. Very, very informative. And the Village Encinitas little thing that was presented, I think, last month. I think we're doing some really, really good stuff, and I see a lot of people that I haven't seen before, and I like that.
And this is Commissioner Hanwett. I also attended the Chamber of Commerce Expo representing Village Encinitas.
This is Commissioner Martin. I attended the techie event and the Girl Scout event. I don't know if those were.
Commissioner Gaber, question, is the events in the called Encinitas Library considered city or county? Like the music program, they have concerts there. Is that considered?
That's the city putting
City?
those
Oh,
programs
good.
on at the library, at the
They're
county
wonderful,
library.
and I'll get a T-shirt on that one next time.
All right, let's go to work plan item 2, identify guest speakers for monthly meetings to provide education regarding topics related to the work plan goals and adults 50 plus, and find platforms to disseminate the information to adults 50 plus. Any updates?
Commissioner Koblenz, I submitted 2 of them to Chrissy. One is called Frosted Faces, and it's the ability for the seniors to engage in animal therapy, I'm going to say. They have a wonderful program. Not only is it to have the dogs, but explain that when you get this program, they take care of all the medical costs. So if you're a senior or if you have animals, you recognize that could be pretty substantial. And then there is a genealogist through Scripps that spoke about loneliness and such. And I'm thinking that she also has some additional issues that she can talk, but I thought that was very good, and maybe expand. It was at the Senior Learning Expo that Jesse did such a great job at.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I happen to be the lucky owner or mother of a Frosted Face, and they can make a great difference in your life. And the fact that they cover all medical expenses is miraculous. And that woman was a clinical psychologist at SDSU, and we can get you her contact information. She was a great speaker.
And then I'm wondering, can we have our wonderful guests put on the list to talk about caregiving? Can we explore it? I think there's a lot more information that you could share with us that would be, besides just the event. I'd like to put that on the possibility list.
Just, Commissioner Gaber, just memory, Southern California Caregivers Association, the folks that were here last week, they have excellent experience, and it's documented on caregiving. I'm just saying that might be one possible place to go. Thank you.
So this is Commissioner Ling. I just wanted to make a couple of points on this topic. One is, I think what's worked out really well for us is having our guest speakers lined up well in advance, so we have an opportunity to promote their presence. The other thing is, thanks to Commissioner Koblenz and the support of our community center staff, we did our first playback of the presenters from our previous meeting at the senior lunch at Oakcrest Cafe. And I think that went very well. In fact, it was kind of funny because I volunteer there, and people came up and said, you're at the Senior Citizen Commission. So I'm being recognized now.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
This is Commissioner Stern. I just wanted to follow up with what they said about the pet care. And I really can't type anymore. My hands are really messed up. Is there any way I can get that info emailed to me? And I guess maybe it's Christy I need to ask. I'm not sure.
This is Manager Goodsell. I can get you that information, Commissioner Stern. I'll email it to you.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Let's move. Anything
Commissioner
else for
Gaber?
this topic?
Yes, thank
Yep.
you. Commissioner Gaber, possible topics that just a suggestion, brainstorming. And all of these are referred to seniors, so it's a very topic. I'd love to get some hard data from the traffic department on the effect of our new programs to reduce speed. You know, they have the data before and after, and I read from the literature, from the academic literature, that there at least one paper that documented you have a speed bump. What does that relate to the school? But it was a very small study and not valid. But and then second of all, I'm not a paper guy. And then there's underserved community of seniors that have substance and drug abuse issues, and also. I walk the dog downtown purposefully, and I know several of the folks that are without homes, and most of the ones I've run into are seniors. So I'm wondering if we can invite two things. I was just responsible for programs for an organization. There's a fellow there that's an economist, and he has an extensive fact-based presentation on homelessness, but if you want to, I'll talk to him to get it, if you want to go ahead with that, just seniors in, 15 minutes, because he can talk, he knows a lot. And then another idea is before and after, I keep my notes on the computer, before and after. I think that's all. Thank you, Commissioner Gaber.
Okay, and in response to Commissioner Gaber's request, I think we probably have some folks on city staff who can fill us in on the homeless or unsheltered seniors.
This is
Commissioner
Manager
Gaber?
Goodsell. Per your recommendation at the last meeting, I did go ahead and schedule Stephen Gonzalez, who is a coordinator here at the City of Encinitas, and he's going to talk about the city initiatives and resources for addressing homelessness.
Thank you.
Commissioner Gaber, fantastic. Would it be in order? Would it be appropriate? I don't want to be out of order ever. Would it be Commissioner Gaber? Would it be appropriate to give you a presentation that will thing and then distribute it to his documents to the commission. In other words, can I give you some information from him and just have it distributed? It's generic. It's nothing to do with Encinitas. There's a lot of studies on this, and I have access to it, and I'm wondering if that can be distributed.
This is Manager Goodsell. Feel free to go ahead and email me that information. Thank you.
Commissioner,
You're welcome.
Commissioner Koblenz, Commissioner Gaber, is this, for my clarification, is this someone you know? Are they associated with a not-for-profit or just someone that's done extensive studies?
He's a PhD economist, very accomplished, and he's a national expert on homelessness.
Okay, thank you. And my question is, from a particular, besides being a PhD, from a particular corporation, a not-for-profit, or just someone that's done extensive
Sorry.
studies?
He's I think he's either associate professor or full professor at UCSD.
Thank you.
Teaches and does research, that's all. Thank you, I'm sorry I didn't clarify that.
And this is Manager Goodsell again. Just as a reminder, at this point in time, we're just reporting out outcomes to the work plan.
Okay. Thank you. Work plan item 3, continue our partnership with the Encinitas Rotary Club, explore other Encinitas Service Club collaborations to recognize or promote the Senior Citizen Service Award. Any updates?
This is Commissioner Angel. So the ad hoc committee has continued to be on top of this and have met in person as well as emailed collaboratively. And just today, I received an email from Manager Goodsell letting us know that, and please help me here, Manager Goodsell, I don't remember the exact number. Was it 11 nominations to date? Correct. Okay, so we have 11 nominations to date, which is wonderful, given the fact that we're not closing out the nomination period until next month. So our very assertive and, I guess, I don't know if intense is the right word, but our marketing committee enthusiasm and throughout the city has certainly provided us the opportunity to increase the nominations and increase the opportunity for the individuals to be engaged in this process. So thank you very much.
Commissioner Martin, I also put some applications and the flyer, each one of the stations, but if I missed you, there's some more at the end of this.
Okay. Work plan item 4, create new and sustain ongoing intergenerational programming in collaboration with the Encinitas Youth Commission. Let me speak on that. We did have our Techie Tutor event in February. Turnout could have been better. I had some discussion with the other youth commissioners that were there, and our thought was that we need to schedule these on a more frequent and regular basis, and that way that would allow us to, for example, be put into the Parks and Recreations guide, and also if it is a regular, I'm going to go out there and say, if we make this a monthly thing, same day of the week, same day of the month, every month, you're more likely to get people who recognize this is something that happens on a regular basis, as opposed to a one-time, once or twice a year type of thing. So we're brainstorming for how we want to move forward on this.
Commissioner Gaber.
Yep.
I became aware of the State Behavioral Advisory folks have included in the current guidelines to take have every advisory board have a youth representative. So I'd love to get our Encinitas people in there, and specifically the Behavioral Health Advisory Board, BHAB. It's not quite ready, but I would encourage people to talk to the appropriate person and put them on the books. It's on the city website, Behavioral Health, okay?
Okay.
Every advisory board's supposed to get youth.
Okay. Work plan item 5, explore a gardening partnership with the Encinitas Boys and Girls Club and gardening classes educational workshop offerings. Any updates today?
Well, this is Commissioner Hanwood, and unfortunately, there are no updates. The update is there are no updates. We haven't heard back from the Boys and Girls Club, and we need to in order to be able to go forward.
Okay, work plan item 6, support staff in creating, promoting, and sustaining new and ongoing programs for adults 50+ at the Encinitas Community and Senior Center, Encinitas Parks, and/or San Diego County Libraries in Encinitas. Any updates?
Commissioner Koblenz, I want to, again, tip my hat to the staff. Oakcrest Cafe is booming. They're amazing. They're doing so many other activities. We've got bingo, and we've got crafts and all that, and it really is generating a lot of activity. I think Manager Godsoe will tell you, we have a lot of new people, and I think the impressive part is what I see now in there is a community that they actually, when someone's gone, will ask. And I think that's part of what we want to do. So we're still exploring a few things, but the staff has been amazing. The things they bring up are just amazing. So I say we're definitely moving along. And I think being able to present these will definitely bring in even more seniors. And I have a couple ideas about maybe coffee or cookies during that presentation, but that's something later I'll talk about. Thank you.
Okay, this is Commissioner Ling, and I'll add to Commissioner Koblenz's comments on this. I agree. I think some of the activities that we've come up with at the Oakcrest Cafe have been very well received. The blood pressure folks from AMR, I don't know how busy they've been when they've been in the lobby in the community center, but they had very, very engaged seniors wanting to get their blood pressure checked. It probably helped that Elise incentivized them with promises of chocolate. But they were very, the AMR folks, I talked to them afterwards, and they were very pleased at the turnout for that. I also think, just from what I see on my Thursday volunteer days, you may say, oh, bingo, stretch, but those are also very well-received activities, and everybody seems engaged in those when we do them. So, and Commissioner Koblenz can vouch for that as well. Okay, can we move on? Let's move on to work plan item 7. Leverage participation in Age Well San Diego 2.0 and AARP conversations to make recommendations that can directly affect the adult 50+ community in Encinitas.
Well, I have 2 updates. One is that I attended the Age Well Housing Committee meeting on February 6th, and the speaker was Matthew Percasio, who is the Caregiver Programs and Outreach Coordinator for Aging and Independent Services. And he just talked about aging and independent services, and anytime that happens, you learn something new. So that was very worthwhile. And then on January 22nd, the City Council unanimously made the decision for Encinitas to join the AARP Age-Friendly Network. So the next steps, maybe Manager Hamer might be able to tell us what's going to happen next, where we need to have funding. But that was a big hurdle and very exciting.
Yes, Manager Hamer here. The next step is to explore funding, and that is what we're currently doing, and we'll keep you updated as we are updated.
Commissioner Gaber, I would love to be invited as a member of the committee to those kind of meetings, because I get educated as well. And you may have done it, I missed it.
Well, that was the City Council meeting.
No,
So-
not that meeting. That's an agenda, not a problem.
Oh, the Housing Committee meeting?
Yeah,
You mean?
anytime
Well,
there's an AARP issue, I'd like to, because I really want to get, more educated on that topic.
Okay, you can get on there. You get
will.
to get on their mailing list.
I will.
Yeah, because we get emails on a regular basis.
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
Okay.
But
Well, we'll be announcing things as we're aware of them at the commission meeting, I'm sure. And the other committee that I was talking about is part of San Diego Age Well. It's part of the county programs. So you can just go on their website, and they have lots of different committees that you can join.
you may not know this, but I'm a member of the San Diego County Behavioral Health and Behavioral Health Services, and I think that there's a possibility we can put that program on the agenda, learn, but I can't. I just want some help.
In the
so.
context of what you were asking for, HVIL San Diego, you can go to their county website and get on their mailing list, and AARP's same way, same thing.
Thank you for helping me. I appreciate it.
Okay, work plan item 8. Explore grant funding opportunities based on community needs and survey results. Any updates? No?
This is Manager Goodsell. I do have a brief update. Some exciting news that the San Diego Senior Community Foundation is funding the bus service to the Safari Park for those 65 and older. The bus will be leaving the Encinitas Community and Senior Center. That is going to happen this month. I have more details that I'll share in my operations report regarding that, but the grant funding is for a little over $800.
Great. Thank you.
Commissioner Gaber, is there any criteria except age to sign up for that?
You need to register at the Encinitas Community and Senior Center, be 65 years of age or older, and make sure you register before it fills up. So that's the most important thing.
You read my mind. I have to check the calendar.
Okay, and the information is on this flyer. Okay. Work plan item 9, gain knowledge on available community resources and services for adults 50 plus and disseminate information to 50 plus adults. Any updates?
Well, this is Commissioner Hanwood. I mean, I don't have to say much about Village Encinitas because Amy did a great job explaining it, but I would like to add that the coffee and chat get-together that she mentioned, it's going to be on the 4th Friday of every month, starting this month. So it's going to be at on the 28th at the coffee shop Bird Rock. I couldn't remember the name of it for a moment. Bird Rock Coffee Roasters at the Lumberyard. And the Zoom meeting will be on the 22nd of the month. And if you're interested in, it's another way to learn more about Village Encinitas, and if you go on our website, you can register and get the Zoom link on the events calendar, which is pretty easy to find. They're both from 10 to 11. The coffee is on February 28th at 10, and the Zoom is February 22nd.
Okay, that brings us to work plan item 10, research best practices as it relates to adults 50 plus issues, send letters of support to city council and commissions, and follow up as needed. Are there any updates? Okay. Let's see, I think that gets us to agenda item 8B. I'm assuming if there are any changes that those will get incorporated, but at this point, I would like to hear a motion to approve the fiscal year 2024-2025 work plan outcomes.
I do a motion to approve the fiscal 2024-25 work plan. Thank you.
Commissioner Koblenz moves to approve. Do I have a second?
This is Commissioner Hanwood. I'll second that motion.
Commissioner Hanwood seconds.
Commissioner Gaber, could you repeat what we're approving, bylaws or work plan?
So the work plan outcomes for this
okay.
past year,
No problem.
yes, that's what we're approving now.
Thank you for the clarification, Chairman.
And I believe we will go to touchscreen to vote.
And this is Commissioner Stern. I approve.
Thank you.
Let the record show that the motion passes with all commissioners voting yes.
Okay, and next on this, and action items, we have item 8C, to approve our draft bylaws. Do I hear a motion to approve the draft bylaws for the Senior Citizen Commission?
This is Commissioner Angel, and I make the motion that we approve the draft bylaws for this commission.
Commissioner Angel makes the motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Commissioner Koblenz, I second that motion.
Commissioner Koblenz seconds.
Commissioner Gaber, I have just a question. I think we can have discussion after the motion is made. Robert's rules? Yeah, before we vote, I believe so. I'll tell you my question.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that Robert's Rules of Order was in the bylaws. That'd be the only, whatever the city council
Yes.
standard is in, I'd like us to include in the bylaws that we follow that.
Yes.
This is Commissioner Angel, and I'm going to defer to Manager Goodsell. This actually did come up while the ad hoc was drafting that, and
And there is a copy of it attached to the work plan, so if you haven't had a chance to look at it.
Exactly, thank you.
This is Commissioner Stern. I'm wondering, because it's a draft, does it mean anything, or we still have to approve?
No,
it?
we're
Let's say a final
finalizing.
copy.
We're calling it a
okay.
draft because it's not been approved yet by us.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And this is Manager Goodsell in response to your question. Section 2, duties of each commission member. 1C, it says read, understand, and abide by the commission member resource handbook, including the Ralph M. Brown Act and Rosenberg's Rules of Order. So that is in there.
Manager Hamer, I wanted to add that even if you approve it today, it will still remain a draft until City Council does the final approval to make it final.
Do I?
Commissioner Stern, that's interesting. Thank you.
So, are we done with discussion at this point? Should we move on to vote?
And Commissioner Stern, what was your vote?
Oh, I'll approve. Thank you.
Let the record show the motion passes with all commissioners voting yes.
Thank you. That brings us to Agenda Item 9, informational items. Manager Goodsell, you have a Senior Center Operations report for us today?
I sure do. Thank you, Chair Ling. So 481 senior meals were provided in January, 226 one-way rides were provided in January, and there were 514 non-nutrition participants registered for programs in January at the Encinitas Community and Senior Center. Mark your calendars for upcoming senior events and activities during the lunch program, including a birthday celebration on March 7th, a televised Senior Commission educational presentation on March 11th, bingo and stretch on March 13th, the St. Patrick's Day celebration on March 17th, and coloring of mandalas for Creative Corner on February 27th. The Senior Center will be hosting a sold-out mingle with salsa dance lessons on February 25th at 1 p.m. with a free virtual reality experience to Cuba, compliments of the San Diego Senior Community Foundation. We have 2 more phone and tablet technology tips offered by the Girl Scouts on February 20th and March 13th from 4 to 5 p.m. at the Encinitas Senior Center. It's free, but in-person registration is required. And then finally, the Senior Center will be offering a free trip to the San Diego Safari Park on February 24th, exclusively for those aged 65 and above. The bus will depart the Encinitas Senior Center at 9 a.m. and depart the park at 1:30, arriving back to the center by 3 p.m. The outing is sponsored by the San Diego Seniors Community Foundation and promises to be a very fun-filled day. In-person registration is required by February 20th at 5 p.m. And those participating must remember to bring proof of ID for entry into the safari park. And that concludes my operations report. Thank you.
Thank you, Manager Goodsell. Manager Hamer, you have department updates for us?
Manager Hamer, this updates include that the Community Grant Program application for fiscal year 26 is now open and will close on February 27th, 2025. I'm thinking perhaps that might be something the village could be interested in. That is, if you have any direct inquiries, you can email cgp@encinitasca.gov or go to the website encinitasca.gov/CGP for more information. Upcoming activities that we have, most importantly, is our Explore Encinitas Spring Activity Guide will be available to view online tomorrow. The digital guide will be on the recreation page by Thursday, February 27th. The guides will be mailed to residents and available at the Encinitas Community Center on Saturday, March 1st, and registration opens on Monday, March 3rd at 8 a.m. So we know many of our programs in high demand. They'll have a line of people to get into these programs. We ask that you save the dates for some of our upcoming programs, which will be here before you know it. Arbor Day on Saturday, April 5th. That'll be 9 a.m. at Cardiff Sports Park. Art Night is the same day, April 5th, and that will be at the Encinitas Community Center, Encinitas Library, as well as City Hall and other local galleries. Our Spring Egg Hunt is at Encinitas Community Park. That is Saturday, April 19th, 10 to 12. I know many of you volunteer and help with that event. And our tentative volunteer appreciation event is scheduled for Tuesday, April 29th at 4:30. And our movie in the park, Moana 2, will be on Saturday, May 3rd at Glen Park. So some of these events and activities, we might be featuring a digital adventure lab working with the Youth Commission, and it'd be a great opportunity for us to incorporate, if it comes online, some of our seniors to teach them about this other digital way of connecting and learning and exploring in Encinitas. So more to come on that, and that will be it.
Thank you, Manager Hamer. That brings us to Agenda Item 10, Commission Member-Initiated Agenda Item. Do we have any Commission Member-Initiated Agenda items today?
There are none.
Okay, Agenda Item
Excuse me,
11.
Point of clarification, do they have to be emitted in advance?
Yes.
Okay, no problem, thank you.
Yes, this is Item 11. Future agenda items added by commission members. So, commissioners, if you have any agenda items that are not part of our regular agenda that you'd like to add for next time? Speak
Commissioner
now.
Martin, I just wanted to say, next agenda, would that not be our, talking about our plans for next year?
Yes, that's true. That's part of it. So March is when we start putting together our work plan for the next fiscal year. Anything else? We're good? Okay, let's go on with the agenda item 12, commission reports. This is the roundtable where all the commissioners can provide announcements or reports to add. I will start from the far end of the dais and then ask each commissioner to speak. So we'll start with Commissioner Koblenz.
She was so happy that I moved over here. Commissioner Koblenz, just a couple things. I do want to add community resources having their community resource tea April 5th. And I also did participate, it probably should have been in one of the other items, in the point in time count. And I think it's significant for us to be aware. And I'm very excited that Stephen will be talking. He and I had a little conversation that day. So again, I just want to encourage all of us. I try to remember the places I go because I wear a couple hats, but I do know that as a commissioner being out there, it really does provide us with a unique opportunity to hear from our seniors. And I do wear my badge every now and then because then people will come up and say, hey, have you thought about? And I met a lovely man at the store and he said, I have a concern. And I said, what is it? And I just shared with him what I knew. So I think that's the biggest thing that I want to share is while we're out there just being who we are, it expands our commission, which I think is exactly what we want to do. And that's all I have.
Yeah, I agree. And that applies to pretty much any kind of volunteer activity that we do on behalf of the city. Okay, Commissioner Martin?
Commissioner Martin, I'm sad that I missed that event for the count a couple of years, and I didn't get there, but I did do an event at my home with District 1 new representative, Luke Schaefer, and it was attended by 15 people, pretty equally divided between both sides of the political realm, and I was delighted with how much input and love for our city there was in that. It did come up once again that there's quite a few people out there that say, I don't really know any seniors. And I'm like, really? So maybe this little badge needs to be worn because seniors is definitely all around us.
I think the challenge is we don't always think of ourselves as seniors. Okay.
Commissioner Gaber?
Actually, let me get Commissioner Stern before I forget. So on the teleconference, Commissioner Stern, do you have any updates for us?
Nothing that what committees I am working on.
Okay.
Otherwise, I have other updates, but they're probably not applicable.
All right. Thank you for that. Commissioner Gaber?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Gaber. I'm wondering if we can get some updates. I try to walk downtown. Dog loves it. We removed the benches for whatever reason, for reasons that were stated. And I was wondering if, on downtown. Yeah. And it was 4-1 in the council. So I'm wondering if we can get an update from somebody, what the plans are to install non-congregational seating, because, sometimes I get tired. I want to sit down. That's all I got. There's no place to do that now. There's one bench at the complete south side, and I'm not sure who owns it, but I'm sure our planning folks and, there's non-congregational seating that makes it easier to clean it if necessary and that kind of stuff. And another idea is that one of the reasons that there may be unpleasant odors is dogs. And maybe we can consider putting someplace, finding someplace so dogs can do their business in an appropriate place. Thank you.
Commissioner Angel?
I don't have anything other than I spent 21 glorious days in the Caribbean. I'm happy to be back.
Welcome back. Commissioner Hanwit?
Well, I'm jealous that you spent 21 glorious days in the Caribbean. I think I had a busy month, but I think I've already talked about just about everything I've done, so no further updates.
Thank you. This is Commissioner Ling. I don't have anything to add. So with that, the February 18th, 2025 Senior Citizen Commission meeting is hereby adjourned at 3:10 p.m. Thank you, everybody.